So I grew up Italian. My dad was Irish guy from Maine.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know his family at all. We grew up with my mom's family in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, how did you get, I mean, like at a young age, at such a young age, at 23, you started getting into cars and learning how to...
Well, it was really when I, well, it's a whole story.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And of course, it's a girl. It starts with, always starts with a girl. Wow. So I was not into cars, not that kid messing around with cars in the driveway or any of that stuff. I was a jock, played sports, football in high school, and
what position?
Quarterback and linebacker.
Cool.
And was into science and reading science books and stuff. Went to college and met a girl, and she was into cars. So
oh, that's awesome.
That was it. So I had to get into cars.
So you came here to Pennsylvania about when?
95.
95? That's awesome. And did you have a lot of this inventory? Like?
Oh, no. I had
you
nothing.
just kind of started from scratch?
Yeah.
Wow. Carlo, there's a little bit of everything here.
Yes.
I mean, you got like almost every year. Yeah, sounds great.
Just had a guy come down last night from Boston.
From Boston to look at this?
Yeah, he drove.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, 68 Charger RT.
So you left at the girl.
Why?
She was interested in cars?
She was into cars,
and
and this was also 1973, 74, when everyone, all my friends were driving GTOs and Challengers and Camaros, because they were just used cars, and Rivieras and 442s. And I was just driving an old four-door Bel Air. But I ended up that summer, worked my ass off, saved every penny, started learning about cars, looking at every single car, and bought a 70 Firebird Formula 400, one owner, 17,000 miles, and it was just a fantastic car.
Awesome.
And then, of course, the first gas crisis hit, and I had no money left because I spent it all on the car. I couldn't afford to put gas in it, but just enough to drive around and have fun. And I had that for less than a year. Couldn't afford to keep it. It was sitting out in the dorm parking lots, and so I sold it. I bought it for $2,400 and sold it for $2,800.
Oh, okay. So
you made a couple that was okay, and had money and lived off of that money for a couple of years, and then that kind of got me into cars, and then ended up buying. What was my junior year? I bought a '51 Dodge pickup for $125.
Oh, jeez.
And just started. Doing everything myself, not knowing anything about cars or mechanical.
Just learning on it,
Just,
right?
okay, how am I gonna, I switched it over to 12 volt, and I went to a junkyard and got a nice seat out of an Oldsmobile and put it in there, and put a big railroad tie in the front bumper.
Very
and
nice.
Just started doing stuff.
Customizing it and modifying it here and there, suspension, brakes.
And then the oil pan was leaking, and my brother followed me up a couple years later. He followed me to Vermont. And he went to school there.
Yeah.
And I had the truck at his house, and I had taken the drain plug out because the drain plug was leaking. I was going to get an oversized one.
Okay.
So he was late for school. I had taught him how to hot wire cars for some reason. So he was late, and I'll just take Carlo's truck. So he jumped in there, no oil in the engine, and drove it to school and blew up the engine. So that was the end of that truck. But when by the time my senior year came around, I was going to graduate in my degree in geology and physics, and I didn't want to do that, so I was hooked on cars. So actually, my spring semester, I bought and sold 2 cars, and a 54 Chevy, and fixed it up a little bit, sold it, and then I bought a 50 Chevy. and sold that.
And did you try to find cars that like really needed a lot of TLC?
No,
or did
no.
You find...
I tried good,
good
cars.
solid
I even
bodies
knew
and
that
everything.
back then.
Yeah.
And because I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
So I certainly wasn't going to
Right,
buy
you didn't want to
anything.
like invest too much time into it, right?
Well,
right.
I didn't have the facility, I didn't have the knowledge,
True.
and I didn't have the money. I had
Okay.
enough money to buy. I knew that I could find a good car, and I bought nice low mileage original cars.
Oh, very cool.
And then I would, clean them up, and if it didn't have white walls, I'd put wide whites on there, and it really made a big difference, things like that, and sold them. And actually, the second car that I sold, which was a 50 Chevy, I sold to one of my college friends' roommate, actually.
Oh, no way.
He still has the car.
He still has it?
Yeah, that was
that's so cool.
He bought it in May of '78. He still has it.
No way.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
he still got that car. Still has. I got it from old Bessie Cannon. It still had one of those German Shepherds with the bobbing head
Yeah.
in the package tray. He still has
He
it.
still has
it's
that?
it's exactly.
Oh,
the
that's
same.
insane.
So.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then I just started living in Vermont. Of course, everything is rusted out. So.
Snow and salt, right?
Yeah, terrible. So I said, well, I got to go down south to buy cars. So I'd fly from Burlington to Greensboro, North Carolina, and this was...
Was that pretty much the line? Like, would you say North Carolina
No,
south?
actually, I didn't realize, but probably Pennsylvania has
some decent...
more. I got probably, in the last 40 years, I probably got more great cars from Pennsylvania than any other state.
Well, that's
Although I
cool.
bought a lot from down south, North Carolina.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
But they didn't have as many, not too many luxury cars, because it was poorer back then.
True.
And the economy was very different. Now it's more expensive to buy cars in North Carolina than it is in Carlisle. You go to the Charlotte car show, prices are higher than Carlisle.
And then Carlisle?
Yeah, it's crazy. It used to be the
And that's
other
a great
other way
show.
around.
Those Carlisle shows are fantastic. Yeah. I'm definitely going to the next one, no question.
And so I would fly down to Greensboro, rent a car, drive around. I mean, you could buy 57 Chevys at used car lots. I'd go through the newspaper and buy Buicks and 67 GTO convertibles. And
for a decent price.
Yeah,
I mean,
for a decent price.
Attainable,
and,
you know?
Yeah, I was buying 67 GTO convertible, 4-speed, for $2,500.
Oh,
Drive them back to
oh,
Vermont.
man.
Fix them up, detail them, do whatever they needed, and sell it for $3,500.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was enough I could go buy the next car.
And keep going
Yeah,
and
keep
building
going.
off of that.
Yeah.
And is that kind of what you did here? I mean, like,
Yeah,
with
well,
all
these aren't
cars?
all mine. These are
So you have
a bunch of
consignment.
I have a bunch of consignments,
Okay,
and I
all
have
right.
customers with, I couldn't afford all these.
What a great place. I mean, like, what was this building before?
This was an old steel fabrication plant, this whole complex that we're in. And they got bought out by a bigger company about 10 years ago, and they moved.
Was that all part of that
was
Berlin, or
Schramm.
is that a different
Well,
company?
Berlin Steel is now in one of those buildings. But Schramm got bought out, Schramm Steel got bought out, and they moved wherever they moved. And a real estate developer bought the whole thing, and he chopped it up into smaller spaces.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So this is 1/3 of this building.
Wow.
So this is, they had one building, so they would bring the stuff in one end and out the other end.
This is a great facility.
So-
I mean, it's well lit. Everything's
Yeah,
really
all
nice.
new LED lighting, the windows on both sides,
Yeah.
new bathroom, new heaters.
Very
So
cool.
it's worked out great.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the P1800. Now, that's a 68, correct?
This is 68 P1800 S.
Probably one of my favorite body styles.
Yes,
You know?
wonderful car. I met a woman about 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember. She called me. She heard about me and called me and said, my dad passed away a couple of years ago. I have some cars that I want to sell.
Yeah.
So there was a 53 Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
A 53.
53, a 65 Cadillac 4-door DeVille.
Wow.
And then a couple newer cars that he had. And I ended up buying the 2 Cadillacs.
Yeah.
And she was going to keep this car because, her dad left it to her.
a little bit
and
more sentimental.
She had it, and it was something she could drive, and she always liked it. She wasn't that into the big giant caddies. But it needed to be restored. So she said, I want you to restore it, and then I'll keep it. So, of course, took probably 8 months to restore
it.
We stripped it all down, repainted it, all new chrome, all new weather strip, all polished all the stainless, wheels, tires.
So it really needed some love.
Oh, a lot of love.
Yeah,
yeah. And the interior had already been done, and some of the mechanical work had been done by someone else previously.
Okay.
So we did a few things in that. The interior was fine, other than we took it all apart and out when we painted it. And so my painter's great, my body guy's great, and
yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, the car came out.
Is that the original color?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is incredible.
And so
love this
did
car.
polish the stainless, all the chrome's redone, weather strip, had all the glass out, and.
So do you offer that as a service? Like, do you offer restoration?
Yeah.
Like, if someone had a car, and they said
that's most of my business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got 6 guys full time.
Wow.
And I have 2 shops.
That's so cool.
So
I mean,
I'll take you to the shop.
Yeah, I
Both
definitely want to
shops.
see that.
Yeah.
But then you would offer basically like
We'll do everything.
you
The
give
only
like
thing,
a budget basically, and it's hard, for something like
you
that.
can try and give an estimate.
But if someone had another P1800 and they said, Carlo,
Well,
how much would it be to
it depends on the
bring
condition
this
of
to
the
life?
car.
Yeah.
Every car is different. This one needed a lot of love. It was banged up pretty bad here and there.
Wow, you would never know it. This thing is flawless right now.
Well, we didn't do a
looks
lot
flawless.
of detailing under the hood because the budget was
Limited.
being limited. We went way over. It was very expensive, but we got it, and she's very happy with it. And then, unfortunately, she's got some health issues now, and she's decided that she wants me to sell it for her.
Oh.
So that's why it's here for sale. Otherwise, it would be in her garage.
It would be in her garage.
Yeah, but
That's
it's pretty rare because it's a 4-speed with overdrive and factory air and leather interior.
And I'm sorry, but the interior is so beautiful. The way that they did this.
Yeah,
it's
got
the gauges and everything.
Yeah, it's got the German square weave carpet, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is a high-end carpet. A lot of people will put in the crappy nylon, which I hate.
Right.
And leather is great, of course. That was an option. And
It's in wonderful shape.
brand new wheels, powder coated.
If this was your car and you wanted to do something with it, what would you do at this moment?
Drive it.
Nothing. Just drive
Drive
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Irv Gordon had the 3 million mile.
Oh,
Volvo
that guy. Okay.
P1800.
I've read about him,
yeah.
but I didn't know it.
So yeah, he went. It was a little over 3 million miles.
Yes.
And then he was overseas.
Yeah.
And he had passed away. And the only reason why he knew is because we were connected on Facebook, and his daughter. I reached out to him, and his daughter emailed me back saying that he had passed. More about the P1800. I've always been like connected to it.
I've always liked them, and I've had a P18.
They're just beautiful. The shapes.
P1800 wagons I love because I'm a wagon freak.
Yeah.
And they're so unusual. They only made them 2 years. So
What years were they?
72 and 73.
Now, is it fairly easy to, I just want to catch this side of the engine too.
Sure.
Wow. I'd love to hear it too.
Sure.
Is it fairly easy to get parts for this? Or-
Very.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's 2 huge Volvo parts suppliers.
Okay.
Susquehanna Spares in Pennsylvania, and the other one is, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but
Wow.
virtually every part. I mean, we get brand new windshield gaskets, glass, trim,
Anything.
mechanical, anything.
All these like the trim pieces
headlight,
and the light
headlight
bulbs.
bezels, brand new.
That's-
It's cheaper to buy a new one than have it re-chromed.
Makes sense. Now, was there any upgrades to the brakes and stuff like that, or suspension, all original?
Yeah.
Wow.
So these originally had some like fiberglass insulation, and this is a Q pad that we put on there that really does a nice job. It looks super nice.
Yeah,
but
it's so clean.
It gives you a because that old fiberglass stuff just gets dirty
falls
and
apart.
nasty and falls apart. And this stuff gives you a sound and a heat insulator, so it really works great.
That's pretty cool. They offer that for different cars, or is
Well,
that just
no,
custom
you
for
buy it
that?
in a sheet and just
And you
cut it out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really nice, and I'm sure it rides like beautifully.
Oh, it runs and drives.
The
fantastic.
suspension's soft, right?
It's great. The other reason these never really caught on, they're not too different from regular Volvo passenger car, suspension-wise, chassis-wise. Same thing with...
Well, like a 240 or something, or what are they?
Well, the earlier,
Back
even the
then,
122s, and then the
122s.
240s.
Right.
And...
But the styles.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Styling. Sure. I mean, it's
Head
a
and
sports
shoulders.
Car.
Yeah.
It's a shorter wheelbase, but they use the same steering geometry and things like that. Another reason, like the Studebaker Avantis and Hawks, and Larks. Well, the Larks was a regular passenger car, but they're not that sporty.
They're not that
because they based everything on the passenger car platform instead of having it. They couldn't afford to make their own platform.
Right.
Like a Corvette has a different platform from an Impala or a...
And I saw that Avanti. You actually have an Avanti here. You know, that's
yes,
like...
I have. That's a really...
Those are rare.
Well, they only made 4,000 and change Avantis in 2 years.
Wow.
Studebaker Avantis.
Yeah.
And that is actually the 5th from the last Avanti built.
Oh, man.
And it's 100% original car, paint, exterior, interior. It's an automatic with air, power steering, power brakes, tilt steering wheel, and AM/FM radio. And
Which engine is in this?
289 Studebaker.
I remember the first time I saw one of these, and it was like probably in the late 80s, and I saw one of these sitting in a parking lot.
I love them.
It caught my eye. I'm like, this is different.
Wait till you see my wife's back at my shop.
Yeah?
She's got a 63 R2 supercharged 4-speed.
Oh, man.
It's not done yet, but it's pretty. It's
How
really
much horsepower did this have? I mean, it had to be up there.
It was I think it was 260 in the R1 regular 4-barrel, and the supercharged was 320.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I could go over the whole inventory.
Yeah, it would take forever. But yeah, I mean, and believe me, I would go through it.
This is a 78 Z28 with 12,000 original miles.
No way.
All right, that's 100% original, 12,000 miles.
This is the original paint?
It's original everything, except tires and battery.
It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, the wheels look unreal. They're
it's original.
Brand new.
Well, it's only got 12,000 miles.
I know. It's just like
And look at the interior. It's crazy. But you can't beat that.
Oh my
You can't beat original cars. I don't even mostly like.
I love the color of the interior too.
Yeah, it's a great saddle tan. That 75 Corvette I just sold, that's got 19,000.
Is that sold?
Sold. Yeah, I sold it yesterday.
Nice.
It's got 19,000 miles.
Yeah, those are nice. I love those Stingrays.
Yeah, this is not a super rare car, but it's an all original, 50,000 miles, 72 Ford LTD. That's 100% original, not a speck of rust, with a 429 big block, air conditioning.
Paint. I mean, it's a glass.
For 19 grand.
19,000.
19 grand. You could drive that every day.
100%.
Yeah.
And be proud and
yeah.
Who does the detail work for you? This is
my guys.
Unreal.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do everything myself.
Yeah. Now you have a team.
That's a 55 Ford F-250 with 8,000 original miles. It has been repainted. It was a fire truck.
Yeah.
And a guy bought it probably 10 years ago from the fire company, and he took it apart and painted it, but it's got 8,000 original miles.
That's insanity. That's like unreal.
And it drives perfectly.
Look at that. It's so clean and simple and perfect. I love these pickup trucks.
I'm giving you the highlights of the low mileage stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to go around the Camaro, which is another one of my favorites, but...
look at this. This is a 71 Lincoln Mark III with 7,000 original miles.
7,000 miles?
This is original paint,
How do you
chrome,
find
interior. That's what I do. The seat belts in the back seat have never been unwrapped.
Oh my goodness.
The leather doesn't have a crease in it. This is all fully serviced.
Like, where did
And-
you find this?
Well,
Like, how?
that's a whole story in itself. But this car is fully serviced now. Probably almost 10,000 spent on doing everything mechanically you would need. You could hop in this and drive to California and not even think
No
straight.
issues at all.
Air blows cold. Everything works perfectly. It's amazing. But I bought it.
Everything is like flawless.
Yeah, the pot metal. The
There's
die
no,
cast is not
there's no pitting, no
no
nothing.
pitting in anything. It's really just.
Now, did this have the fold away? Yeah.
This hideaway headlights.
Hideaway
Yeah, they
headlight.
come down, but you got to turn it on the vacuum.
Yeah,
The
everything's
vacuum
vacuum actuated, right?
Yeah. So,
Jeez.
and then that T-Bird, that's a 62 Thunderbird convertible with the extremely rare M-Code Tri-Power. Whoa. One of only 9 built.
Beast.
This is one of 9.
How much is this selling for?
135.
Wow. This is awesome.
And it's got the sports roadster package added, so the sport wheels and the tonneau cover.
So cool. What a boat, right? It's like this thing is so awesome. But this is, look at this.
Yeah.
Like the detail. Oh my goodness, Carlo, this is like almost like a concept car.
Yes,
back
it is.
then.
Well, if you look at the back, it looks a lot like the Chrysler turbine car with it's got that kind of jet exhaust.
Oh
The
yeah.
tail lights.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
The interior is so futuristic. I mean, it's got the radiuses and everything. It's just unbelievable.
yeah.
What a beautiful car. Beautiful. I would be proud. I mean, you can hurt yourself on that.
Yeah, actually my favorite car here,
What's your favorite?
just because it's the coolest
Dodge?
original. That's a 68 Dodge
What?
van.
Oh my
camper van.
God.
And it's 100% original paint, original everything with 26,000
And how many of
miles.
these do you see on the road?
None.
None of them.
None. That's a completely original, rust-free, one owner from
Sportsman.
Texas.
Jeez.
Look at the inside.
Oh, man. That's so cool.
And this pulls out into a gigantic double bed.
Holy mackerel.
So that top slides out and you have a table. And then if you pull it out further and you've got,
This is so cool.
of course that goes up and down.
Yeah.
But look at that. I mean, talk
That
about
is like
Party
perfect.
Central. And every piece of paperwork since new. Original sales brochures.
Now, why don't you see many of these on the road? I mean, you see
Because
tons
people
of
didn't
like,
save them. Well, the Volkswagen 23 windows.
right, you see tons of those,
Well,
you know, but
You know, they didn't make that many, and they didn't get saved. But I mean, every
They were
piece
just
of
used.
paperwork.
Wow.
Production order, the original sales order,
sale order.
the original window sticker, everything. Letter from Chrysler. I mean, got everything.
how much is
in
this
here.
worth?
29 grand. If it was a Volkswagen, it'd be 129.
Exactly. I mean, 29 grand, you got all the original stuff. I mean, this is
And it's
worth,
no rust, and it's
more
mechanically
than
serviced and ready to go.
that's incredible. It's such a cool,
With a slant six, 225, automatic, new tires, fully serviced. Again, you could hop in this
I
and
get
drive to
goosebumps
California.
just thinking about it. Like the stories that probably came with this thing, you know?
Yeah. Nice original 67 Firebird. Very rare spring color, Coronado Gold, which is kind of that green gold.
You got a little
forehead.
greenish tint, right?
Of course, I've got the first 3 generations of T-Birds, 57, 5, 6, and 7, and I've got, this is a 59, and then that's the next
It's
generation.
the pink, holy mackerel.
Yeah. Flamingo pink. Wire wheels, tonneau cover, factory air
They
conditioning.
didn't want to be too ostentatious. You know,
No.
they went with a mild color
Yes.
like pink, you know?
Well, look at these yellows. 56 Lincoln.
But it was so colorful for the time,
oh,
right?
yeah,
It was just
late, like
enjoy
55
it.
to 63 were the
like,
craziest
here we
colors.
are, you know,
Yeah.
this is my car, this is the color.
I have the old
Fantastic.
original color books from the paint
You
shop.
do?
Yeah, and you just go through the late 50s, early 60s. You can't believe the colors.
So cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just
56 Lincoln. I mean, look at the hood ornament. what was involved in making that?
Yeah, they don't see that anymore. You don't see stuff like this.
And then, come here, you got to get a kick out of this. So where do you put the key to open the trunk? Well, of course.
Behind the behind the helmet.
Behind
no
the
way.
Yes.
Oh, that is so unreal. The attention to detail.
Yeah.
It's just like,
And then, yeah, so
there are very few manufacturers that even think about doing something like that anymore.
No. You know, 56 Lincoln, 57 Thunderbird.
The 57 Thunderbird is beautiful. I mean, this is like classic.
That's a beauty, fully restored.
I love the yellow.
Yeah. And
Although they probably didn't call it yellow. What did they call it?
they did call it yellow.
did?
Like this one, I can't remember what. Well, I'm sure it's in here.
It probably says it, yeah.
You know, like they called them sunshine yellow,
yellow.
or, you know, some bizarre name. Like that Coronado Gold.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't look gold at all. Well, it's a
Firebird.
little gold and green.
It's got that, you know, like the flakes almost.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Wow. They even matched the rim of the wheel.
Yes, yeah, sunburst yellow.
Sunburst yellow.
So these are the, see?
That's so cool that you have that. I mean, that's just...
All right, so you could get all these colors in 56 Lincoln.
I mean, look how cool, like how vibrant those are.
Island coral, amethyst, wisteria.
So neat.
You know.
Now what
And
can
then-
you get?
and
You
then
can
this
get
is-
black, gray.
Right. Yeah, well, every color, yeah. This is the original sales brochure.
Wow. This belongs in a museum. These are museum pieces.
Well, they're cars, you got to drive them.
But I agree. I agree with that.
They shouldn't be sitting.
They shouldn't be sitting, just sit, you know,
Yeah.
enjoy it.
What else have they got that's cool? It's a 912.
912.
Yes. You know, then stuff that I just sold the 56 old Starfire.
Oh, you did?
That's going to Colorado. That's a cool 65 Corvair convertible with a turbocharger and a 4-speed. And then, I mean, again,
What year's the Mercedes?
that's a 70.
70.
Yeah, so they made this, the 280 was from 67, 68 was 280, to 68 to 71 was the 280.
This is really cool. My eye keeps going back to that for some reason.
But like 86 Chevy Silverado, again,
Junior year high school, we had.
that's completely original, 50,000 miles, short bed,
Wow.
V8 automatic, air conditioning, tilt, cruise, you know, just those square body. And that's all original, no rust, original paint.
And if you had something like this, you could keep it original, or you can kind of
you
make
just-
it your
just-
own.
You just drive it.
Just drive it.
You know, they're worth more. I mean, you.
I can see that's your philosophy. You know, enjoy
Yeah.
it. Just go out there,
Yeah.
drive it, enjoy
I mean,
it.
I don't. If you had a rough one and you wanted to fix it up and customize it, fine. But you really don't take an original one and start messing
Well, I
with
guess that, you know, that would be a question for
Well,
for
the-
you. Like when do you find it the right time to resto mod something like that? You know, because
Well-
it takes a lot to do something like that.
Yes,
you know?
it does.
So, you know,
Well,
what car is the right car to resto mod?
the one you want to do it to.
It's irregardless.
Well, it's up to the person
what you want.
what he wants.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I want this truck, but I want it lowered with bigger
wheels
and an LS 3
Right.
engine or whatever crazy stuff you want to do.
It's very
but
personal, right? I
Yes.
mean, it's just, it really
Yeah.
is.
I mean, that's the whole hot rod thing.
Yeah.
And then this is an all original 84 380 SL,
Those are nice.
local mainline. I actually had a guy come over here looking at a car. It's my age. So, oh, I know that car. I sold that new to Mary Sue
Oh, you did?
in Gladwyn, PA.
No way.
In '84. He's the original salesman, sold it new.
And he remembered?
Yeah, he even gave me extra key fobs.
No way.
He said, "Oh, I got some key fobs from Devin Mercedes." So he
That's
gave me
crazy.
extra key fobs. Mercedes.
This is really nice.
Mercedes of Devin,
Jeez.
and it's got a
And
name.
what would this sell for?
21 grand.
That's a great. I mean, you can't even buy a new car for that.
You can't buy.
You can't buy a Subaru Crosstrek for 20 grand.
No.
And you're getting a beautiful Mercedes Benz.
Yeah,
A classic.
Hard top and soft top.
The hard tops are heavy though, aren't they?
Yes, I had sitting on a rack.
You go
over
sitting
there.
on a rack.
Yeah. You'll never put it on.
No.
You always, but it'll sit in your garage and you can say, I have a hard top.
I got a hard top.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like the 30s and 40s cars the best.
For
That's a
sure.
37 Packard.
Do you think they're like, you know, the new generation of car collectors, do you think they're really kind of interested in those types of cars?
The younger kids are not so much. A lot of it is based on nostalgia. So the younger guys like the stuff from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Because that's what they remember.
That's what you remember and
when
grew
you're
up
in high
with.
school and
Yeah.
college, and you know that's why.
I talked to a couple of different shops and I asked them that question. And I actually asked Griot's Garage that same question. Like, what do you find is going to be the next classic car?
Well, it's like the Datsun 280ZXs and even the 300ZXs.
But it's those people who lived when those cars existed,
right?
And now they can afford them.
Exactly. They were
Right.
in high school and college, and now they're in their 40s, and they have a little money, and say, "Oh yeah, I want that car."
So probably the next generation of classic cars would be the early 2000s, I would say.
That's going to be a little way
like maybe
down the
another
road.
10,
Yeah.
15 years from now.
Well, even the 90s, certain like crazy low mileage, interesting cars are bringing money, but the cars aren't that interesting then.
Yeah, it's
So,
true. There's
that's
not
the
a lot
problem.
of soul in
Yeah.
those cars. I mean, something compared to this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, the Corvettes are timeless, you know.
Yeah. But that's a cheap car. I just sold that for $17,500.
You sold that for $17,500? Wow. Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It's really
It's
nice.
low, low miles.
Super clean.
Yeah.
I mean, the wheels are like, they were redone, right?
Probably, yeah, maybe at some point, not by me. But it runs and drives great, and it's just
So ahead of its time, too. The technology and
that's
the
a
dash.
96.
96, wow.
Okay, so that's way more than an antique. Antique is 25 years.
Whew.
All right, so an antique now is 99.
I wouldn't even think of this as an antique,
But
it
it's
is.
more than an antique.
Yeah.
This is 28 years old.
28 years old.
Yes.
So when's he picking it up?
I'm delivering it this week.
Nice.
And I just sold that 2 days ago.
The Sun-
That's a 67 Sunbeam Alpine. Yeah, you can stuff a small block Ford
So
in there
small.
and have yourself a Tiger.
These are sharp.
Yeah, that's all original, low miles. That's a 97 40th anniversary.
Wow.
So that's an antique also.
This
so you get
is.
antique insurance and antique plates.
So now when you get the antique,
21 grand. With, power soft top.
everything,
And a hard top.
and everything works, and
Everything works. Just spend $5 grand on all the hydraulics. And I have warranties available on any car back to 1930.
so that's a good question. So what type of warranty do you offer on the cars?
Amazing warranty.
So is it like a year, or?
No, you could get 5 years.
Oh, you can get a 5-year warranty?
Yep. It's underwritten by Zurich,
Yeah.
so it's not a fly-by-night
Right.
outfit. A bunch of the warranties, mainly on exotics.
Nice.
Mercedes, BMW, Aston Martins.
Right. Where the parts and the workmanship is going to be a little bit more expensive.
Not like a Chevy truck you wouldn't
Right.
buy a warranty.
No.
'39 Buick Special Coupe. That's a great car.
It is.
Great story. Got that from a guy in New Jersey. His dad bought it in 1960.
1960, his father bought it.
And then him and his dad restored it about 10 years ago.
Wow.
And drove it around, took it to shows, and then his dad passed away, and he's got young kids, and he can't afford to keep it, so I got it from him.
Is the clock working?
Maybe.
I think so. I think I saw the hand move. Wow.
I don't know. I
pretty
usually
cool.
don't worry about clocks.
Yeah.
If I had to have a clock working
That's a rarity if
if
the
I had to
clock's
have a
working.
clock working on 40 cars, that's a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly. Now, speaking of mechanics, you said that you were looking for a couple?
If you know any mechanics that want a job.
I'm going to share this with some
I'm ready
people
to hire two mechanics.
Two mechanics.
That want to work on old stuff, cool old cars.
Now, what type of talents or skills do you want them to have? Like just engine mechanical? Do you want some body shop?
No, not body, not paint and body. My paint and
Just
body guys are all set. Mechanic guy, take a car apart and put it together.
Okay.
Don't have to do any body work.
Okay, cool.
But another great story, this Duesenberg, that's a 1926 Duesenberg. One of my customers bought it.
Was that like the Gilded Age, right? The 20s?
Not quite.
No?
Gilded Age technically.
What is that? That's
ended around the turn of the century.
It was like the late,
late
the
1800s.
Industrial Age, right?
Yeah. But that's a 26 Duesenberg, super rare, town sedan, of course, they're all rare. But one of my customers from Villanova, he bought it about 32 years ago, drove it once, parked it in his garage and let it sit there. And we just pulled it out. Of course, we just got it running and it runs beautifully.
It does?
Yes. And now we're going to clean it up, detail it, and it'll be for sale. But this has
got to be worth something.
It's like $250.
Yeah.
Because it's a Model A Duesenberg, not a Model J Duesenberg. Model A was 22 to 26. Model J was a real high-end one, dual overhead cam, straight 8. This is a single overhead cam, straight 8. And so the Model Js were 28 to 36.
Okay, all right.
And those are the $1 million ones.
Wow.
But it's still a really cool car. I mean, this.
So what type of client would purchase something like this?
A guy just wants to take it to classic car shows.
Classic car shows and just, concourses and.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But I mean, this in its day was comparable to a Rolls Royce, a Packard, a Pierce Arrow, or even above that. It was one of those most expensive cars in the world at the time, and most technologically
and the color
advanced.
and everything is just so unique.
And then I got some hard. See all the hard tops for T-Birds and
just kind of
Mercedes back
over
there.
Right behind some motorcycles.
Yeah, I got a bunch of motorcycles. One of my friends is he's got 80 motorcycles.
80?
80. And he's 70 years old, and he says, maybe I have too many. Carlo,
you think?
I'm going to get down to a more manageable 40 motorcycles.
Right.
And he's got 9 boats and probably 10 or 12 cars or more. So he just brings them over. Carlo sell it for me. So I got these.
I see a few here.
Got BSA and a Rickman and an OSA.
Yeah, those are nice.
And those are cool classic bikes. I got to do photo shoots and get them on the website.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Carlo.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Sure.
And I am seriously thinking
that one of these cars is going to hold its value.
Oh, it'll never.
Right,
I mean, this won't ever depreciate.
It's not going to ever
anymore.
depreciate.
Yeah.
And it will probably appreciate because restoration costs keep going up and up and up.
Exactly.
I just took my car. I have a 2000 Mercury. That's my beater driver. I need an extra key.
Yeah.
Because when I bought it, it only had 1 key. So I said, I'm going to get 2 keys. So I go and order them at the Ford dealership. They come in. 2 keys are $100. 2 keys. Then I say, I go into the car, and I said, it doesn't work. He says, oh, it's got to be programmed.
The key has to
be programmed. So you have to bring the car and the original key, and it has to go into service, and they have to program it.
Oh, geez.
So it's 1 hour, and it's $190
just to program
to program the key.
That's ridiculous.
So it cost me $320 for 2 keys. For my car.
It's pathetic, actually.
Right, and I have a key machine in my shop. I can make a key for any of these cars for $3. The key blanks probably cost maybe $1 or $2.
Yeah.
So that drives me crazy. But the same person that's losing $20 or $30 or $40,000 in depreciation.
Boom.
Yeah.
You can own
buy
one
that.
of these.
And it's an investment. It's not going to depreciate. And that same person is clipping coupons to save 30 cents on a can of beans.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wait, where's your priorities?
Oh, it's just the way people
put
grow up, and it's interesting. That's kind of the human nature, and you lose out on the nostalgia, and you lose out on things like that.
It's not for everyone. You got to have some interest in it. But if you have interest in it, you're not spending the money.
No.
It's going to be there.
You're going to enjoy it. And And this is something you'd keep for a while.
Yeah. I've had this, I bought the same car 5 times. That's my record.
The same car?
Same car. 58 Bel Air 2-door sedan. I bought from the original owner, a little old lady in Burlington. I had to court her to get this car. One of my brother worked with this girl at a restaurant, and she said, "Oh, my aunt has this car in Burlington." And I went over to her house. I can't remember her name. And it was a pink K Coral, they called it.
Yeah.
58 Bel Air with a 2-tone pink and mauve interior. And it was just amazing. Had 18,000 miles, sitting in her garage, flat tires. And I went to see her every Friday for about a week. Had tea with her, and I finally bought it. And then I had, over 20 years, I bought and sold it 5 times.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I sold it to one guy. You know, I put tires on it, tuned it up, sold it to one of my friends, and he had it for 5 years. I bought it back from him, sold to another guy, bought it.
So if you were to
5
have...
times. That's my record.
So that's your record, that car.
That's my record. Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind having that car again. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It was just a 6-cylinder automatic.
Because I was going to ask you, if you had a choice and you had to remove all these cars and have one car in your arsenal, what would it be?
It'd be a 1960 Buick Electra convertible. White with red and white leather.
That's very
top.
specific.
Because I had that car, and I sold it when I was starting my video business in '84, and it's just a great car. I mean, they're fast, comfortable, great lines, and they're just an amazing car.
Everything about it. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love just the drivability. I like a big 4 or 6 passenger car. That's a beautiful 57 Dodge Coronet convertible.
Jeez.
Fully restored.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so, they're nice, man. They're
you know,
really
when
nice looking.
restoration cost now is $100,000 to $150,000
To bring it to this level, for sure.
So it's a bargain to buy that car for $100,000.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be a nice pickup, for sure.
Yeah. So she's losing money on the deal.
Yeah.
Because before we started on it, she probably could have got 10 grand for it.
Yeah.
So, but she wanted to keep it, and then now she can't. So, you know, you always buy either excellent original or excellent restored.
Yeah.
You don't buy something to fix it up. I mean,
now, for the general public, though, would you think that like just buying a already restored car is probably the smartest thing to do?
Or an excellent original.
An excellent original, and just don't do anything. Yeah, just leave it alone. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't, if it's excellent original, you don't have to do anything.
True. Yeah. I mean, there's always like little things that.
Yeah, I mean, there might be maintenance issues. But,
my OCD always gets in the way, and I say, "Oh, maybe I should remove this trim, or maybe this has this little tube."
That's you know, you could do that to a restored car.
To a restored car too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't think of anything you would do to that car
No.
other than maybe if you wanted to put wire wheels on it or something. But
well, Carlo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. The stories are awesome. So if they want to reach out to you, and if we do find a couple mechanics who are interested in helping you out, I'll leave your cell phone number. Or
let me give you a bunch of cards.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll put this information in the description too.
Yeah.
And this video will probably come out on Wednesday. So
okay, you can make me look 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah, I'll do everything I can.